Sage Shukracharya curses Danda. Prahlad says, blinded by lust, Danda forcibly breached the modesty of unrelenting Araja and returned to his palace. Araja was saddened by the inability to protect her chastity and started wailing. When Shukracharya returned to his hermitage, he found Araja lying down at the entrance. He asked her about what transpired with her. Araja narrated the whole story, which made Shukracharya extremely furious and his eyes were reddened due to his anger. He thundered, the wicked Danda would become a pauper after losing his wealth and kingdom within a week. After cursing Danda, he instructed his daughter Araja to do penance so that she could become liberated from her sin, and himself went to Patal Loka accompanied by his disciples. Shukracharya's curse came true, and as a result, Danda lost his whole kingdom within a week. After narrating this story, Prahlad told Andak, on account of the immoral deeds of King Danda, the deities abandoned Dandakarnya and it was now inhabited by the demons. Now it must be clear to you that a person who breaches a chaste woman's modesty against her will is doomed to destruction. Andak, you must not go ahead with your evil intention of marrying Parvati because she is Lord Shiva's consort whose might is unmatched. Andak replied angrily, I have driven out the deities from heaven. Why should I get scared of Shiva who is fascinated by his wife's beauty? Prahlad tried his best to convince Andak against going ahead with his evil plan, but it had no effect on him. Andak ordered his lieutenant Shambha to go to Mandar mountain and inform Lord Shiva that Parvati should be given to him, Andak, if he, Lord Shiva, wanted to remain alive. Shambha went to Mandar mountain with narrated Andak's desire to Lord Shiva. Hearing this, Goddess Parvati, who was sitting beside Lord Shiva, told Shambha that she would agree to marry Andak on the condition that he defeats Lord Shiva in a battle. Shambha returned and narrated everything to Andak. Now, Andak's anger crossed all limits and he ordered Duryodhan to prepare for the war. Andak's huge army was instructed to assemble. The whole atmosphere reverberated with the sound of bugles and war cries. Andak proceeded towards Mandar mountain with a huge army, which consisted of mighty warriors like Jamb, Kujamb, Shambha, Virochan, Duryodhan and Vrishparva. Destiny led Andak towards his own death trap. Lord Shiva prepares for the battle. Ganas throng Mandar mountain. Pulastya says, when Lord Shiva became aware of Andak's imminent attack, he requested Nandi to summon all the Ganas, who were more than 700 crores in number. Some of the prominent Ganas like Pashupat, Komuk, Mahavrati, Digamba, Mani, Mahapashupat and Vrishabhadhvaj arrived at Mandar mountain to help Lord Shiva at the request of Nandi. On seeing the valiant gun Pashupat, Lord Shiva embraced him, which surprised all the other Ganas. They were amazed at the special honor given to him. Lord Shiva realized their astonishment and said, although all of you have great devotion towards me, but in your ignorance, you have shown disrespect towards Lord Vishnu. All of you except Pashupat don't realize that both of us, Lord Shiva and Vishnu, are inseparable and there is no difference between us. Pashupat is aware of this and hence he has been accorded the highest honor. Having said this, Lord Shiva revealed his majestic form of Sadashiva to the Ganas. The Ganas were bewildered on seeing the whole universe existing within Sadashiva. Lord Sadashiva then transformed his appearance into that of Lord Vishnu. The Ganas also viewed the forms of deities like Indra, Surya and Lord Brahma etc. in him. They were now convinced that both Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu were the same. The dawning of this realization liberated them from their ignorance. Lord Shiva blessed the Ganas and embraced them. All the Ganas then took their position all around Mandar mountain and readied themselves for the forthcoming attack. The battle commences. Pulastya says, when the Ganas saw Andak's army approaching the Mandar mountain, they made a loud roar, which reverberated through the land and sky. Hearing this roar, Lord Ganesha became apprehensive and went to Mandar mountain to ask Lord Shiva about the origin of that tremendous roar. Lord Shiva told him, I am going to fight a battle with Andak. Lord Ganesha also expressed his willingness to accompany him. Lord Shiva then entrusted the job of Parvati's security to prominent matrikas like Malini, Jaya, Vijaya, Aparajita and Jayanti. He then went to fight Andak holding his weapon trident in his hand and mounted on a bull. The Ganas made a protective ring and surrounded him from all sides. In a very short time, both armies confronted each other and a tremendous battle began in which the Ganas crushed many demons to death. The demons retaliated by attacking them with make and swords. All the deities assembled in the sky to witness this battle. Mahapashupat attacked the demons with such force that it caused great losses to the enemy. On seeing death and destruction caused in the demons' camp, Tuhanda the mighty demon attacked the Ganas with his most destructive weapon Parigli, which scared the Ganas and they fled. Then Lord Ganesha came forward to fight Tuhanda. Tuhanda assaulted him with his weapon Parigli, but it fragmented into hundreds of pieces after dashing against Ganesha's belly. On seeing the destruction of his maternal uncle's most destructive weapon, Rahu came running towards Lord Ganesha and held him tightly. Lord Ganesha, Gatodar and Sukeshi assaulted him simultaneously with their respective weapons. Writhing in pain, Rahu immediately released Ganesha. Seeing the time opportune, Lord Ganesha severed Tuhanda's head with his axe. After killing Tuhanda, Lord Ganesha attacked the demons, but the attack was repulsed by the mighty Bali. In this battle, the Ganas were finally able to annihilate the demons. Shamba protected himself by taking Shukracharya's refuge, and all the surviving demons including Andak followed suit. Shukracharya uses Sanjeevani Vidya. Andak went to Shukracharya and narrated the woeful tale of demons' defeat. He also requested Shukracharya to help the demons win the battle. Shukracharya was dejected, but he assured the demons that he would make alive all the dead demons with the help of Sanjeevani Vidya, and really all the mighty demons like Jamb, Kujamb etc. became alive once again. When Nandi came to know about this unbelievable incident, he went to Lord Shiva and informed him. Lord Shiva instructed him to bring Shukracharya by any means. I shall control him by my yogic power, said Lord Shiva. Nandi infiltrated into the demon's army, but Hayakandar spotted him and tried to resist his forward march. Nandi attacked Hayakandar with his Vajra, as a result of which, he fell down unconscious. After this, Kujamb, Jamb and some other demons ran menacingly towards Nandi. They surrounded him from all sides and started assaulting him ruthlessly. On seeing Nandi in danger, Lord Brahma became very worried and instructed the deities to help him. Indra and all the other deities joined Lord Shiva's army and fought bravely against the demons. The sudden entry of the deities in the battlefield had distracted the attention of the demons, and as a result, Nandi got an opportunity to penetrate through the rank and files of demons' army. Ultimately, he successfully accomplished his mission and brought Shukracharya to Lord Shiva after abducting him. Lord Shiva wasted no time and swallowed Shukracharya immediately. The next moment, Shukracharya found himself in Lord Shiva's stomach. Shukracharya made frantic efforts to come out of the stomach but was unsuccessful. Being helpless, he started eulogizing Lord Shiva. After becoming pleased by Shukracharya's extreme devotion, Lord Shiva expressed his desire to bless him with a boon. Shukracharya requested Lord Shiva to give him a way so that he can come out from his stomach. Lord Shiva agreed and asked him to come out immediately. Shukracharya started searching for an exit point but was amazed by the vastness of Shiva's stomach, in which he saw the existence of the whole universe. He made ceaseless effort for 1 divine year but was unsuccessful in his attempts to come out from Shiva's stomach. At last, he surrendered to the will of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva told Shukracharya, "By entering into my stomach, you have become my son. Now, if you want to become free, then you should come out through the pore of my ling." After saying this, Lord Shiva liberated Shukracharya through his ling, who after being released made salutations to him and joined the demons' army once again. The demons were extremely pleased at his arrival. Once again, a fierce battle took place, which continued for 8 divine years. When the demons realized about the deity's supremacy in the battle, they started employing illusionary tactics and swallowed all the ganas and the deities. The scene of the battlefield, Mandar mountain, became devoid of ganas and the deities, which made Lord Shiva extremely furious. His extreme anger resulted into the manifestation of Jrimvayika, a ferocious entity. The mere touch of Jrimvayika made the demons to yawn. All the deities and the ganas came out from the opened mouths of the demons. Once again, the battle commenced, which continued for 700 years. When Andak realized that Lord Shiva was invincible, then he decided to acquire Parvati by deceitful means. He sought the help of one of his most trusted commander, Sanda, by saying, "O brave Sanda, you are like my brother. I need your help." The battle has continued for such a long period but has still remained indecisive. I have decided to approach Parvati in the guise of her husband Shiva, and I want you to disguise yourself as Nandi. Sanda agreed to disguise himself in the form of Nandi to help his master. Andak went to Mandar mountain in the guise of Lord Shiva mounted on Sanda's back, who had disguised himself as Nandi. When Parvati saw the injury marks on Shiva's, Andak's, body, she told her companions, "Look, how grievously the demons have injured my husband. Please bring the medicinal herbs quickly so that I can dress his wounds." Her companions rushed to bring the medicinal herbs, and in the meantime, Parvati started observing the wounds of Shiva, Andak, minutely. She was surprised to see the absence of both the shoulders on his body. She immediately realized that somebody else had come in the guise of her husband, Shiva. Sensing danger, she ran away to protect herself. Her companions ran behind her and Andak chased all of them. Parvati and her companions hid behind bushes. Being unable to locate Parvati, Andak returned to the battlefield and the battle continued. The deities were fighting valiantly. Lord Vishnu created havoc among the enemy ranks, and Lord Brahma sprinkled holy water from his Kamandalu, which had increased the strength and power of the deities. Indra attacked the demon Bala on his head with his Vajra, but it was broken into pieces. On seeing the destruction of his weapon, Indra became scared and wanted to flee from the battlefield. Jump, the demon made fun of him and challenged him for a duel. Indra then requested Lord Vishnu to provide him with a weapon so that he could fight Jump, but Lord Vishnu sent him to Agni. Agni made a replica of his weapon Shakti and gave it to Indra. Holding his new weapon, Indra then proceeded on his way to fight Jump mounted on his elephant Airavat. Jamb assaulted Airavat with such force that Indra started falling down towards the ground. When the Siddhas and Charanas saw Indra falling down, they provided a magnificent chariot to him so that he could fight with the demons. Meanwhile Indra dashed against the ground with a great thud, as a result of which, the earth shook violently. Sage Shamik's wife thought that the earth was shaking violently due to the impact of earthquake. She requested her husband to carry their son outside the hermitage so that he remains unharmed, and said, "The astrologers say that whatever is kept outside home during an earthquake becomes stable." Sage Shamik was very surprised but still followed her instructions. After the shaking of the earth had subsided, Shamik's wife requested him to bring back the child. Sage Shamik went outside and was surprised to find 2 children instead of 1. He came back carrying both the children in his lap and asked his wife as to what made the second child to manifest. She told him that the second child will become the charioteer of Indra and assist him in the battle. This second child was none other than Matali, who acted as the charioteer of Indra during the battle. Now, Indra had both the chariot and the charioteer in his possession. He went to the battlefield mounted on his new chariot. On the way, he saw a multicolored bow and arrows lying on the ground. He picked up the weapons and fought valiantly with the demons. He killed many mighty demon warriors. Jamb and Kujam ran menacingly towards him, but Lord Vishnu severed the head of Kujam with his Sudarshan Chakra. Jamb assaulted Indra with his Megh, but Indra retaliated by attacking with his Shakti, as a result of which Jamb was killed. The rest of the demons fled from the battlefield. Lord Shiva kills Andak in spite of death and destruction caused to his army. Andak still wanted to continue fighting against Lord Shiva's army. He even dismissed the advices of Shukracharya, who wanted a momentary retreat, and rebuffed him by saying, "All the deities including Maheshwar and Indra cannot save themselves from my wrath. Very soon, I am going to vanquish them." He then instructed his charioteer to move the chariot towards enemy's position. He shot a volley of arrows, which entirely covered the deities. Lord Vishnu advised the deities to kill Andak along with his charioteer and destroy the chariot so that Lord Shiva could kill Andak without any difficulty. All the deities then attacked the demons with renewed vigor. Lord Vishnu killed thousands of enemies' horses with his Megh. Skand killed the charioteer, and Vinayak, accompanied by the Ganas, destroyed Andak's chariot. After being bereft of his chariot, Andak attacked the deities with his Megh. Seeing the deities in danger, Lord Shiva concealed them within his body and challenged Andak for a duel. Andak tried to attack Lord Shiva, who was mounted on Nandi. Lord Shiva immediately jumped down from Nandi's back and attacked Andak with his trident, which pierced his chest. Even after being seriously injured, Andak did not die. Instead, he pulled Lord Shiva for 1 mile, holding him tightly in his clutch. Lord Shiva tried to resist by attacking for the second time. But Andak retaliated by hitting Shiva with his Megh, causing serious injury on his head. A stream of blood oozed out from the wound, which poured down towards all the 4 directions. The blood stream which poured down towards east resulted into the manifestation of Vairav named Kalraj. Similarly, Kamaraj, Chakramala, Somaraj, Swakcharaj, Lalitraj and Vignaraj manifested from the other 3 directions. Lord Shiva then lifted Andak above his head with the help of his trident, which was still pierced in Andak's chest. His body had become red due to the blood oozing out from Andak's wound. Lord Shiva had toiled hard to kill Andak, and as a result, he was perspiring profusely. The sweat drops originating from Shiva's forehead resulted into the manifestation of a divine girl, while the sweat drops that fell on the ground from Shiva's face resulted into the manifestation of a divine boy. Both the children started gulping down the blood emanating from Andak's wound. Lord Shiva named the girl child as Chachika, while the boy child was named Mangal, and blessed both of them. Lord Shiva held Andak above his head for 1000 divine years, which reduced his body to a skeleton. At last, Andak realized his mistake and begged for forgiveness. He eulogized Lord Shiva and hailed his greatness. Lord Shiva told him that he would forgive him only when he accepts Parvati as his mother. Andak agreed not only to accept Parvati as his mother but also Shiva as his father. Shiva became pleased and lowered down his trident. He healed Andak's wound by his divine touch. The deities became pleased at Andak's change of heart and blessed him. Lord Shiva then took Andak to Mandar mountain. Parvati was still hiding behind the bushes. When she saw Lord Shiva approaching, she recognized him and called her companions to come out from their hiding. Lord Shiva gleefully told Parvati that Andak had now become her slave. Look at him. He is making salutations to you. Accept him as your son. Andak then eulogized Parvati with complete devotion. Parvati became pleased and expressed her desire to bless him with a boon. Andak said, I don't want anything. I just want to become liberated from all my sins and remain in the proximity of Lord Shiva. Parvati blessed him and made him the gun of Shiva, who became famous as Bringi. The origin of Marutgana's Narada asked Pulastya about the battle which Indra fought with the demon at Malai mountain. Pulastya replied, Andak's followers Maya and Tar tried to enter Patal Loka after being defeated by the deities. While they were passing close to the Malai mountain, they decided to live there, being enchanted by its natural beauty. The caves of Malai mountain were inhabited by sages who were Lord Shiva's devotees. The demons started causing obstacles in the rituals performed by the sages. When Lord Shiva came to know about this, he instructed Indra to go to Malai mountain and help the sages. Indra went to Malai mountain and successfully drove out the demons from there. Narada again asked Pulastya as to why Indra was also known as Gotravit. Pulastya narrated the following tale. After her son's death, Diti requested her husband, Kashyapa, to bless her with another son so that Indra could be killed. Sage Kashyapa advised her that she would get her desire fulfilled after the successful accomplishment of her penance lasting for 100 divine years. In course of time, Diti became pregnant. One day, Sage Kashyapa left for Urajiri mountain to do his penance and Diti was left all alone. One day, Indra arrived at the hermitage and expressed his desire to be at Diti's service if she permitted. Diti gave permission and Indra engaged himself in serving her. He used to keep the oblation site clean and bring dry wood necessary for the performance of yajna. This continued for 1000 divine years. One day, Diti was taking rest after her bath. She had postponed her penance for some time because of her impurity. As she was tired, very soon, she fell asleep. Seeing the moment opportune, Indra entered into her womb through her nostrils and cut the fetus into 7 parts. After waking up, Diti realized about her fetus destruction. Indra was very scared on the prospect of being cursed by Diti and said, I am not the cause of your fetus destruction. It has been destroyed due to your own impurity. So please don't curse me. Diti replied, You are certainly not responsible for my fetus destruction. It was all in my destiny. From the pieces of the fetus manifested the Marutganas, and since Indra had tried to harm his own uterine brothers, therefore he became famous as Gotrabhit. Marutganas of different Manvantaras. Sage Pulastya says, O Narada, now, I am going to describe about the origin of Marutganas of various Manvantaras. Savan was Swayambhu Manu's son. He had no sons, and when he died, the sorrowful Queen Sudeva heard a heavenly voice, which instructed her to give up her life by jumping into the burning pyre. You would become a proud mother of 7 sons, said the heavenly voice. The queen acted accordingly and died after jumping into the burning pyre. The souls of the dead king and queen ascended towards the sky. The prophecies made by the heavenly voice came true, and Sudeva found herself in her periods. The king enjoyed a physical relationship with the queen for 5 days. Incidentally, few drops of sperms fell towards earth. After this both the souls departed towards Brahma Loka. These falling drops of sperms were gathered by the wives of some sages and stored in a lotus flower. Those women were Samana, Nalini, Vayushmati, Chitra, Vishaka, Harita and Alini. They mistook the sperms for ambrosia and drank it after getting permission from their husbands. But after drinking it, they became devoid of their effulgence and were abandoned by their respective husbands. In course of time, they gave birth to 7 sons who became famous as Adya Maruts during Swayambhu Manvantara. After having described about the Marutganas, sage Pulastya went on to describe about Swarochish Manvantara. Kratudvaj was the son of Swarochish Manu. He had 7 sons. All of them went to Meru mountain to do penance, as they were desirous of Indra's kingdom. Indra, being scared, instructed Putna to create hurdles in their penance so that Kratudvaj's sons' wishes remained unfulfilled. Putna went to the place where Kratudvaj's sons were doing penance. There was a river nearby where Kratudvaj's sons arrived one day to bathe. Acting according to her plan, Putna too entered into the river to take bath. Kratudvaj's sons were infatuated by her divine beauty. They could not control themselves, and as a result, they had an ejaculation. Putna was successful in accomplishing her mission of corrupting the thoughts of Kratudvaj's sons, who after realizing that their penance had gone in vain returned to their father's kingdom. The released sperms of Kratudvaj's sons was swallowed by a fish named Shankini. One day, she was caught by a fisherman and presented to Kratudvaj's sons, who again released her into a nearby pond. In course of time, Shankini died after giving birth to 7 young fish. The 7 young fish started crying at their mother's death. Lord Brahma appeared and advised them not to cry, and for this reason, they were called Marut. Lord Brahma blessed them by saying, all of you would attain the status of deities and would be capable of flying in the air. After finishing his story, sage Pulastya told Narada that this was how Marutganas originated during Swarochish Manvantara. Sage Pulastya says, now, I am going to describe about the Marutganas of Uttam Manvantara. Jyotishman was the son of Vayushman, and his wife was the daughter of sage Brihaspati. As they were sonless, both of them decided to do penance to beget a son. The Saptarishis arrived there and inquired as to why they were doing such a severe penance. Jyotishman's wife told the Saptarishis that they were desirous of a son. The Saptarishis blessed her by saying that she would become a mother of 7 sons. In course of time, Jyotishman's wife became pregnant. One fateful day, Jyotishman passed away. His sorrowful wife wanted to commit sati. While he was sitting on the burning pyre, suddenly, a piece of burning flesh fell into the nearby river and got fragmented into 7 pieces. 7 Marutganas manifested from these 7 pieces of flesh. Sage Pulastya says, during Tamas Manvantara, Ritgvaj, the son of Tamas Manu did a severe penance with the desire of getting a son. He made offerings of his own flesh, blood and sperms to the oblation fire. Suddenly, he heard a heavenly voice instructing him not to make offerings of his sperms. But the king continued with his offering, and as a result, he died. After some time, 7 infants manifested from the oblation fire who later on became famous as the Marutganas of Tamas Manvantara. King Ripujit was the descendant of Ravat. He was sonless, and after being pleased by his extreme devotion, the deity's son had blessed him with a daughter named Surti. In course of time, she grew into a beautiful woman. One day, Ripujit passed away and a grieved Surti decided to give up her life. The Saptarishis arrived there, and they were so infatuated by her beauty that they tried to prevent her from doing so. But unrelenting Surti did not listen and gave up her life by jumping into the burning pyre. The sorrowful Saptarishis went away after casting lusty glances on her. 7 infants manifested from the burning pyre, who became famous as Marutganas of Ravat Manvantara. During Chakshush Manvantara, a sage named Manki did a tremendous penance at the banks of Saptasaraswat. But he fell down from grace after being infatuated by the beauty of an Apsara named Vapu. His sperms ejaculated and fell into the Saptasaraswat river, from which manifested the 7 Marutganas. Lord Vishnu kills Kalnemi after hearing the news of Bali's coronation. Maya and some other demons went and advised Bali to avenge the killings of his father Virochan and other relatives by Indra. Bali became furious and marched with a huge army to fight the deities. When Indra heard this news, he started making preparations for the battle, and very soon, the deities' army assembled at the foothills of Udyachal mountain. A fierce battle was fought between both the armies. The movement of the troops covered the whole sky with dust, which subsided only after the tremendous bloodbath wetted the earth with blood. Kartikeya fought valiantly in this battle and killed many demons. The demons too retaliated by vigorously attacking the deities. Lord Vishnu created havoc in the demons' army by killing many demons in a very short time. When Kalnemi the demon saw that his comrades were scared of fighting Lord Vishnu, he attacked the deities with renewed vigor and swallowed many of the yakshas, kinnars and the deities. The deities became scared and started running away from the battlefield. The demons became delighted, considering it as their victory and the defeat of Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu became furious and covered the Udyachal mountain with a volley of arrows named Narach. Bali and Maya became terrified and instigated Kalnemi to fight against Lord Vishnu. Kalnemi confronted Lord Vishnu with a meg, but it was destroyed by Vishnu's chakra. After destroying Kalnemi's weapon, Lord Vishnu first severed both his hands and then his head. The news of Kalnemi's death spread like a wildfire in the demons' army, and they fled from the battlefield. King Bali rules the heaven. The mighty Banasura saw the demons running away from the battlefield and came to their rescue. The arrival of Banasura boosted the morale of the defeated demons, and they returned to fight the deities. Lord Vishnu advised the deities to fight gallantly and disappeared from the battlefield. Shukracharya assured the demons of their victory because he thought that the deities would be no match for the demons' might in the absence of Lord Vishnu. Once again, a fierce battle commenced. Bali attacked the deities ferociously with his make. Banasura devastated the deities' army with his 1,000 hands. Ultimately, the deities were defeated in this battle, and the heaven came under the control of demons. The defeated deities took refuge in Brahma Loka after abandoning the heaven. Bali ruled the heaven with the help of his relatives. One day, Bali called his father Prahlad to heaven and requested him to become the ruler of heaven, but Prahlad refused by saying, "As I have chosen the path of yoga after relinquishing everything, it would not be proper for me to get attached to worldly matters once again. Since you have snatched heaven from the deities on account of your valiance, hence the heaven belongs to you." Bali requested Prahlad to enlighten him on the duties of a king and on the virtuous deeds which would enable him in attaining dharma, artha, kama and moksha. Prahlad advised Bali to rule in a just manner and for the benediction of the world. He also advised Bali to engage himself in the service of all the three castes so that they remain loyal to him. Prahlad said, "Virtuosity increases when people unwaveringly follow their dharma. Increase in virtuosity helps a king to rule without any problem." Bali agreed to rule in a just manner as per the advice of Prahlad. The splendors of Bali Pulastya says, the just rule of Bali had transformed the Kali Yuga into Satya Yuga. Even his subjects engaged themselves in virtuous activities like penance and yajnas. They practiced non-violence and always spoke the truth. One day, Goddess Trailokya Lakshmi went to Bali and said, "I have come to bless you because you are a victorious king. You have even defeated Indra and have control over all the three worlds." After saying this, Goddess Lakshmi entered into the body of Bali. During the reign of Bali, his subjects were happy and prosperous. Nobody experienced the pangs of hunger and everybody's desire was fulfilled. The prominence of virtuosity and religiousness during Bali's rule was incomparable and prosperity prevailed throughout his kingdom. Mythological tales. Dhandu performs Ashwamedha Yagya. Pulastya says, during his pilgrimage, Prahlad visited many sacred places like Manas Tirtha, Kaushiki, Devanad and Hastinapur etc. At last he reached the bank of river Yamuna where he worshipped Lord Trivikrama, Vaman. Narada was surprised at the mention of Vaman's name and asked Pulastya, "Lord Vishnu is still to take Vaman incarnation, then how come Prahlad visited his temple?" Pulastya says, Sage Kashyapa had an Aurasputra named Dhandu. Lord Brahma had blessed Dhandu of immortality. In course of time, Dhandu defeated the deities and drove them out from heaven, as a result of which, they had to take refuge in Brahma Loka. When Dhandu came to know that the deities were living in Brahma Loka, he decided to attack Brahma Loka. He consulted the demons but they told him that it was impossible for them to reach Brahma Loka. Sage Shukracharya said, Indra had accomplished 100 Ashwamedha Yajnas by the virtue of which, he could go to Brahma Loka. If you are desirous of reaching Brahma Loka, then you too will have to perform Ashwamedha Yajna. Dhandu expressed his willingness to perform Ashwamedha Yajna. Shukracharya started making preparations for Ashwamedha Yajna at the bank of river Devika. He appointed his disciples and some other sages belonging to Bhargava's clan to supervise the Yajna ceremony. The Ashwamedha Yajna commenced and a horse was let loose according to the tradition. When the deities came to know about this Ashwamedha Yajna being performed by Dhandu, they were scared and requested Lord Vishnu to disrupt the Yajna so that Dhandu could not reach Brahma Loka. Lord Vishnu assured the deities and went to the site where Dhandu was performing Ashwamedha Yajna in a dwarf appearance. He entered into the Devika river and started drowning according to his plan. When the demons saw the dwarf, Lord Vishnu, drowning, they rushed to save him. After taking him out from the river, they asked him about his identity. The dwarf said, "I am the youngest son of Prabhas. My name is Gatibas and my elder brother is Netrabas. After our father's death, my elder brother did not give me my due share in the property. When I insisted, he flung me into this river. The Brahmins who were performing the yagya requested Gandu to donate wealth to Gatibas. Gandu agreed and said, I am willing to fulfill all your wishes. Demand anything you like. Gatibas demanded a small piece of land measured by 3 steps. Lord Vishnu then revealed his giant appearance and covered the whole earth with his first step. His second step covered the heaven and there was no place left for his third step. Lord Vishnu became furious and put his third step on the back of Gandu, as a result of which he was crushed to death. A large pit measuring 1000 yojans was created due to the impact of his weight, and Lord Vishnu threw Gandu's dead body in that pit. After completing his story, Pulastya told Narada, this is how Lord Vishnu became Trivikrama for the first time to defeat the evil designs of Gandu. Prahlad paid a visit to the temple of Vamana situated at the place where Gandu was killed. Pururava regains his good looks. Pulastya says, after worshipping Lord Trivikrama, Prahlad went to Lingavilak mountain and worshipped Lord Shankar. He also visited many more sacred places like Kedartirtha, Badrikasrama, Badrakarn and Vipasha. At last, he reached Irvati and worshipped that Almighty Lord with whose blessings, Pururava was able to regain his good looks. Narada was curious to know this story. Pulastya says, once upon a time, there lived a rich trader named Sudama. Once, while passing through the Surashtra desert, he was attacked by bandits and robbed of all his possessions. Dejected, he started wandering in the desert like a lunatic. He saw a shami tree and decided to take rest under its shade. On this tree lived numerous ghosts. On seeing Sudama, the leader of the ghosts asked him as to where he was going. Sudama narrated his woeful tale, which made the ghosts very sad. The leader of the ghosts said, you must not lose heart. If you are destined to possess wealth, then you would become wealthy once again, but worrying about your lost wealth will only have ill effects on your health and you would become weak. On being instructed by their leader, the ghosts offered food to the hungry Sudama. After satiating his hunger, Sudama asked the leader of the ghosts, who are you? How could you provide me such a delicious dish in this deserted forest? The leader of the ghosts said, in my previous birth, I was a Brahman and my name was Somasharma. I was very poor, but my neighbor Somashrava was a rich and prosperous trader. Being a poor Brahman, I was not able to perform my religious duties. Once, people of all castes thronged Irvati and Nadwala to take a holy dip on the auspicious occasion of Shravana Dwadashi. I followed them and after taking my bath, performed all the necessary rituals. As I was poor, I could donate things of little importance like umbrella, shoes, sweets, curds, etc. This was the first and the last time I had donated anything in my life. After my death, I became a ghost. My companions also never donated anything in their previous life. The delicious food which you had relished just now was due to the virtue of food items donated in my previous life. This shami tree is due to the virtue of donating umbrella. Somasharma was surprised and asked the leader of the ghosts whether he could be of any help to him, to which the leader requested him to offer Pimdan at Gaya so that he became liberated from Prethayuni. Somasharma went to Gaya and performed the necessary rituals of Pimdan, as a result of which, the ghosts went to Brahma Loka after being liberated. Somasharma continued to observe the fast of Shravana Dwadashi every year. One fateful day, he passed away and was reborn in a royal family. After reaching youth age, he became the king of Shakalpuri and indulged in enjoyments and sensual pleasures. After his death, he was born in a Brahmin family. Though ugly, he was well versed in all the scriptures. After a few years, he got married. His wife would make fun of his ugly looks, which annoyed him. He went to Irvati and worshipped Lord Jagannath with full devotion. Lord Jagannath blessed him and his ugly looks turned into a handsome appearance. He enjoyed a very satisfied married life and after his death was reborn as King Pururava. The description of Nakshatra Purusha sage Narada asks Pulastya about the austerity named Nakshatra Purusha which King Pururava had accomplished to please Lord Vishnu. Pulastya says, all the constellations dwell in different parts of Lord Vishnu's body. The Mula Nakshatra dwells in his feet, Rohini Nakshatra in his thighs, Ashwini in his knees, Purvashtha and Uttarashtha in his chest, etc. A devotee who worships Lord Vishnu, the possessor of all the constellations, methodically and according to the rituals attains liberation. Worshipping Lord Vishnu's different organs helps in attaining good health and a disease-free life. Being pleased by this austerity, Lord Vishnu bestows radiance and sweet voice to the devotee. Arundhati had achieved great acclamation due to the successful accomplishment of this austerity. Aditya, with a desire of a son, had his wish fulfilled in the form of Revant, his famous son. The Apsaras Ramba and Menka had acquired unparalleled beauty and sweet voice respectively after successful accomplishment of this austerity. Similarly, Chandra had attained supreme radiance and Pururava regained his kingdom. This way, whoever performed this austerity, his desire was fulfilled. Prahlad's pilgrimage. Pulastya says, Prahlad went to the sacred place called Rishikanya and took a holy dip in the Irvati river. After that, he worshipped Lord Janardhan in the temple situated nearby and then proceeded on his journey towards Kurukshetra. After reaching there, he worshipped Lord Kuruvaj and paid a visit Lord Narsimha temple. After taking a holy dip in the river Devika, he proceeded on towards Gokarna Tirtha where he took bath in river Prachi and worshipped Lord Vishwakarma. Ultimately, after visiting numerous sacred places, he reached Mandunandini where he worshipped Lord Shiva who had a chakra in his hands and Lord Vishnu possessing a trident. Narada was surprised and asked Pulastya why Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu had held Sudarshan chakra and trident respectively. Pulastya explained, during ancient times, there was a mighty demon king named Jalodbhav. He had pleased Lord Brahma by his severe penance and was blessed by him to become immortal. After receiving the boon, Jalodbhav became arrogant and started tormenting the deities and the sages. The deities sought the refuge of Lord Vishnu. They accompanied Lord Vishnu to Himalaya mountain to meet Lord Shiva. Lord Vishnu and Lord Shiva exchanged their weapons. Both of them went to kill the demon who on seeing them got scared and hid in a nearby river. Lord Vishnu and Lord Shiva waited eagerly for him on the opposite banks of the river. After some time, Jalodbhav came out of the river thinking that both of them must have departed by now. He climbed up the Himalaya mountain and both the deities chased him. Lord Shiva attacked him with his chakra while Lord Vishnu pierced his trident in his chest. Jalodbhav died and fell down from the Himalaya mountain. After finishing his story, Pulastya says, this was the reason why both Lord Vishnu and Lord Shankar had exchanged their weapons. The spot where Lord Shankar had kept his foot resulted into the manifestation of river Vyasa. Prahlad, after worshipping Lord Vishnu and Lord Shiva at Mandunandini, went to Brigutun Tirtha situated on the Himalaya mountain. Tales of Upamanyu and Sridama sage Narada was still not satisfied by Pulastya's explanation and asked Pulastya as to what compelled Lord Vishnu to give his chakra to Lord Shiva. Pulastya says, there used to live a learned Brahman named Vamana. He was well versed in all the Vedas and other scriptures. His wife's name was Atreyi and Upamanyu was his son. In spite of his knowledge, Vamana lived in absolute poverty and found it difficult to make arrangements for daily necessities. One day, young Upamanyu, on being hungry, started crying. His helpless mother consoled him by saying that if he worshipped Lord Shiva, then he would even get nectar and would get liberated from the pangs of hunger forever. Vamana was surprised and asked as to who this Lord Virupaksha was. Atreyi narrated the following story. During ancient times, there was a demon king named Sridama. He ruled over the whole earth. Once, he decided to snatch the Srivatsa, Lord Vishnu's dearest ornament, from him. When Lord Vishnu came to know about his intention, he became furious, but since he had no weapon at his disposal, he went to take Lord Shiva's help in this regard. Lord Shiva gave Sudarshan Chakra to him and said that with the help of that infallible weapon, he could kill anybody. But Lord Vishnu was not convinced about the weapon's destructive power and expressed his desire to test it on Lord Shiva himself. Lord Shiva agreed and Vishnu released the Sudarshan Chakra towards him. As a result, Lord Shiva's body was severed into 3 parts: Vishvesh, Yajesh and Yagayajak. Now, Lord Vishnu became satisfied and made salutations to Lord Shiva to express his gratitude. Lord Vishnu went to the mountain where the demon Sridama lived and severed his head with the Sudarshan Chakra. After killing the demon, Lord Vishnu returned to his abode Kshayasaga. After finishing her story, Atreyi told Upamanyu that such was the greatness of Lord Virupaksha. Upamanyu did a severe penance to please Lord Virupaksha and was blessed by him, as a result of which, he never felt hungry in his life. Gajendra and the crocodile sage Narada requests Pulastya to describe how Gajendra managed to release itself from the jaws of the crocodile. Pulastya says, there lived a crocodile in a reservoir near Trikut mountain. One day, a thirsty elephant arrived there to quench its thirst. The wicked crocodile caught hold of the elephant's leg and dragged it towards the middle of the reservoir. The elephant tried its best to release itself from the crocodile's jaws but was unsuccessful. Being helpless, it started remembering Lord Sri Hari as it was his great devotee. It picked up a lotus flower and chanted the following stotra: Salutations to that Lord Vishnu who is the originator of this universe. Salutations to the omnipresent Lord Vishnu who is revered by the sages. I take the refuge of Lord Vishnu who is also known by the names of Vishweshwar, Sri Hari and Sanatan Purusha. This way, the elephant eulogized Lord Vishnu with great devotion. Pleased by his devotion, Lord Vishnu killed the wicked crocodile with his Sudarshan Chakra and liberated the elephant. Actually, this crocodile was none other than Gandharv who had attained the form of a crocodile after being cursed by sage Deval. He was liberated from the curse and went to heaven. Lord Vishnu touched the elephant and it got transformed into a divine human being. This way, with the blessings of Lord Vishnu, both of them were liberated. The greatness of Saraswat Stotra sage Pulastya says, there lived a Kshatriya who kept enmity towards Brahmans. After his death, he was reborn as a demon and spent his life indulging in nefarious activities. Once he saw a hermit doing penance. He wanted to devour him but was unsuccessful in his attempt as the hermit had protected himself by chanting Vishnu Panja Stotra. So, He waited for the hermit for 4 months to come out from his meditative trance. After the completion of his meditation, the hermit was surprised to see a weak and frail demon waiting for him. He asked the demon about his identity and the purpose for which he was waiting there. The demon told him that although he had come with the intention of devouring him, he was unsuccessful in his attempt as he, hermit, was well protected by Vishnu Panja's stotra. I am very impressed by your spiritual feats and I am desirous of learning the same from you. I have committed many sins in my life, so tell me how to become liberated from them, asked the demon. But the hermit was not convinced and told the demon that he would never preach a demon. He advised the demon to take help of some other Brahman. The demon went in search of another Brahman. One day, he saw a Brahman doing penance and caught hold of him. The Brahman was frightened and requested the demon, "Wait until I return after giving this fruit to my teacher." But the demon thought that the Brahman was trying to escape, hence he did not allow the Brahman to leave. The worried Brahman went near a burning fire and pleaded for help. Suddenly, Goddess Saraswati manifested herself and told the Brahmans, "Don't be afraid. With my blessings, you would be able to narrate the means for the demon's benediction." After blessing the Brahman, Goddess Saraswati disappeared. The Brahman narrated the Saraswat stotra to the demon. "You must chant the following stotra thrice in a day. I make salutations to Lord Hari, who is also known as Krishna, Hrishikesh, Vasudev, Janardhan and Jagannath. May he liberate me from my sins. I make salutations to Lord Vishnu, who rests on Sheshnag and who hails Shankchakra Gada and Chakra in his hands. May he liberate me from my sins. Lord Vishnu, who manifests himself in each individual soul just like the element of fire manifests itself in a piece of wood. May he liberate me from my sins." The Brahman told the demon that the daily chanting of Saraswat Vishnu Stotra would enable him to get liberated from his sins. The demon was pleased and after releasing the Brahman went to a place called Shilgram. He engaged himself in severe penance and started chanting the stotra taught by the Brahman. Ultimately, he was successful in becoming liberated from his sins and went to Vishnu Loka. Bali performs Aswamedha Yagya. Bali's arrival at Kurukshetra. Pulastya says, after the departure of Prahlad on his pilgrimage, Bali, desirous of performing a yagya, went to Kurukshetra. Shukracharya had invited the descendants of sage Bhargava to supervise the proceedings of Ashwamedha Yagya, but his decision was not approved by the descendants of some other sages like Atri, Gautam, Kaushik and Angira. As a result, all of them left Kurukshetra. After their departure, Shukracharya started making preparations for the yagya and initiated both Bali and his wife Vindhyavali into the rituals. After that, a horse was let loose according to the tradition. The demon Tarkaksh followed that horse. The Ashwamedha Yagya continued for 3 months, after which Aditi gave birth to a child who was dwarfish in size at a time when the sun had just entered the zodiac of Gemini. All the deities and sages including Lord Brahma were extremely pleased by Lord Vaman's birth. They went to Aditi's hermitage and eulogized Lord Vaman. Lord Vaman became pleased by their eulogy and requested Lord Brahma to help perform his consecrations. On being instructed by Lord Brahma, sage Bharadvaj performed Vaman's Jatkarma and Yagupavit. After that, sage Bharadvaj taught him Vedas and other scriptures, which was mastered by Vaman in less than 1 month. After finishing his studies, Lord Vaman sought his guru's permission to go to Kurukshetra. Sage Bharadvaj expressed his inability by saying, "How can a mortal like me give permission to the Supreme Lord? If you want to go to Kurukshetra, then how can I stop you from going there? I have some queries regarding your various abodes, and would you be gracious enough to enlighten me on that? Lord Vaman said, the whole universe, including the sky, earth, ocean, mountains, clouds, are pervaded by my existence. All the deities, sages, living and non-living things have manifested from me. When I took my first incarnation of Matsya, I had my abode in the holy waters of Manas Sarovar. As my second incarnation of Tortoise, I had my abode in the holy waters of Kaushiki river. I had my abode at Hastinapur when I took my incarnation as Govind. As Narayan, I had my abode at Badrikasrama. As Jayesh, I had my abode at Bhadrakarn. This way, Lord Vaman described about his different abodes in great detail. Arrival of Lord Vaman at Kurukshetra. Pulastya says, after satisfying Bharadwaj's curiosity about his different abodes, Lord Vaman left for Kurukshetra, where Bali was busy performing his yajna. As soon as Lord Vaman reached Kurukshetra, the whole earth started shaking violently and high tides rose in the ocean. Being frightened of Lord Vishnu, Agni did not accept the offerings made by Bali. Bali was very surprised by all these sudden developments. He asked Shukracharya about the reason for all these strange happenings. Shukracharya replied, O king of the demons, definitely, all these strange happenings signifies the arrival of Lord Vasudeva. Bali then asked Shukracharya as to what was the most appropriate way of honoring his eminent guest. What donations should I make to him so that he is pleased and satisfied? Asked Bali. Shukracharya warned him by saying, forget about donating anything, otherwise you will get into serious trouble. Bali told him that he would not disgrace himself by refusing to meet the demands made by Vasudeva. The way a man behaves in his speech, action and thoughts is the result of his past karmas. Are you not aware of the incident related with Koshka which happened at Malai mountain? Koshka was the son of sage Mughal. He was famous for his austerities, and his wife too was very virtuous. In course of time, a son was born to them, but alas, he was blind and deaf. Koshka's wife abandoned that child in front of her house. Incidentally, an ogress named Sarpakshi happened to arrive there, and after seeing the abandoned child, exchanged him with her own child. She carried Koshka's child to Shalodar mountain with the intention of devouring him. When her husband came to know about the incident, he reprimanded Sarpakshi for her misdeed. The demon warned the ogress that both of them would be cursed by the Brahman, and advised her to keep the child at the same place from where she had brought him. In the meantime, Koshka came out from his hermitage after hearing the cries of Sarpakshi's child. He was surprised to find some other child instead of his own, and told his wife, "It seems that this child is under the influence of a ghost." After saying this, he protected the child by demarcating a round circle initiated with mantra around him. Right then, the ogress arrived, and after keeping the Brahman's child on the ground, wanted to take back her own child. But she could not enter inside that circle. Koshka took his child in his lap and went inside the hermitage. This way, the ogress returned to the mountain without her child. Koshka brought up both the children with great care. He named the ogress's child as Divakar, while his own son was named Nisachar. As destiny would have liked it, Divakar turned out to be a very studious child and became well versed in Vedas within a very short time, whereas Nisachar was not interested in studies and had a bad habit of criticizing everybody. Koshka became furious and threw Nisachar in a well. There was an amla tree inside that well, and the child survived living on its fruits. This way, 10 years passed, and one day, Koshkar's wife arrived at the well to fetch water. On seeing his mother, Nisacha tried to convince her that he was her son, but she was not convinced. He then accompanied his mother back home and narrated the reason why he had taken birth as a deaf and blind child. In my previous birth, I was the son of Vrishakapi and was very famous for my scholarly traits. In due course of time, I became very arrogant and started indulging in all sorts of evil deeds. After my death, I went to Narak and suffered all the tortures over there. I was reborn as a tiger, and after being enslaved by a king, I was kept inside a cage. Once, the king had gone out and the beautiful queen arrived near the cage. I was infatuated by her beauty and expressed my lusty desires to her. She was taken aback by my proposal and said, "How can physical relationship be possible between us?" But I requested her to release me by opening the cage door. The queen opened the door and I became free. I caught hold of her and tried to satiate my lust, but right then the guards arrived there and killed me. Once again I went to the hell, and after suffering the pains I was reborn as an ass. My master was Agniveshya, a Brahman. Once, his wife Sumti wanted to go to her father's house. Agniveshya advised her to go riding on my back and instructed his servant to escort us. While on our journey, we reached a river and Sumti expressed her desire to take bath. She went to take bath and I waited for her to return. While she was taking her bath, I became infatuated by her beauty and caught hold of her. The servant who was escorting us saw this and became angry. He killed me by hitting with his stick. Once again, I went to hell and was reborn as a parrot. A wicked fowler trapped and sold me to a trader's son. Although I lived a luxurious life, yet I was not happy because of my slavery. Once, his daughter arrived near my cage and playfully kept me on her breasts. I became infatuated and tried to have physical relations with her. But I was suffocated to death after getting entangled in her necklace. Once again, I went to hell and after suffering the tortures, was reborn as a bull. My master was a Chandala and I used to pull his cart. Once, his wife was sitting in the cart I was pulling. Unmindful of her surroundings, she was singing songs in a beautiful voice. After listening to her melodious voice, I became infatuated and tried to have physical relations with her. I turned back, but the noose around my neck became tight and I was suffocated to death. Once again I went to hell and after suffering the pains, was reborn as a blind and deaf son to you. I remember all my previous lives and I am aware that my physical disabilities are only because of my past sins. I have decided to atone for all my sins by doing penance and indulging in virtuous deeds. After saying this, he went to Badrikasrama to do penance. After finishing his story, Bali told Shukracharya that a man inherits his qualities from his past life and it is impossible for him to change them. It is applicable to both good and bad qualities. My penance, virtuosity, benevolence and generosity have been inherited from my past life and come what may, I have decided not to shun them. Pulastya says, this way, Bali remained firm in his resolve to meet any demand made by his esteemed guest and started waiting eagerly for his arrival. Lord Vaman's demands. Bali was pleased that he would get an opportunity to see the Almighty God whom the sages contemplate upon. He was proud of his good fortune that the Lord was paying him a visit. Shukracharya, aware of the reason for Vaman's arrival, warned Bali against making any promise to him. Bali replied, How can I refuse if the Almighty God demands anything from me? I am willing to face any hardship to safeguard my benevolent image. I don't mind if the deities get benefited by my actions. Even if the Lord is coming with the intention of killing me, I am not scared, as that is how I would attain salvation. Come what may, I am not going to abandon my charitable nature. As the conversation between Shukracharya and Bali continued, suddenly, Lord Vaman arrived at the site. Vaman's radiance subdued the power of all demons present there. Lord Vaman, being impressed by the grandeur of Vaman's yagya, complimented him for organizing such a magnificent yagya. Bali eulogized and worshipped his esteemed guest. He requested Vaman to reveal the reason of his arrival and promised that his wishes would be fulfilled. Lord Vaman smiled and told him that he needed a small piece of land measured by 3 steps for the performance of yagya. Bali was surprised by this demand and requested him to ask for more land, but Lord Vaman told him that he needed only that much land. Bali agreed and took a vow to donate a piece of land measured by 3 steps. Hardly had Bali taken his vow, when suddenly Lord Vaman expanded his size. His first step covered the whole earth. By his 2 successive steps, he covered the 2 worlds. This way, Bali was forced to donate all the 3 worlds according to his vow. Lord Vishnu then made Indra, the king of all the 3 worlds, and sent Bali to the nether world named Sutal. He blessed Bali by saying, "You would enjoy a long life till the end of this present kalpa. You would hold the post of Indra till the arrival of Savarni Manavanta. As long as you remain supportive of the Brahmins and the deities, you would enjoy all the pleasures of life. But if you go against their wishes, then you would be fastened by Varuna's noose." After saying this, Lord Vishnu disappeared. Lord Brahma worships Lord Vaman. Narada asked sage Pulastya as to where did Lord Vaman go after disappearing from the oblation site. Pulastya replied, Lord Vaman went to Brahma Loka mounted on his Garuda. On seeing him, Lord Brahma gave a warm reception and after worshipping him asked about the reason for his sudden arrival. Lord Vaman told him that he had sent Bali to Sutal Loka for the welfare of the deities and so that they could get their share of the yagya. Lord Brahma expressed his desire to see the giant form of Vishnu which he had taken while measuring all the 3 worlds. Lord Vishnu obliged him and showed his giant appearance. Lord Brahma was impressed and eulogized him. He requested Lord Vishnu to remain in Brahma Loka in his appearance of Vaman. Lord Vishnu had agreed to do this and remained there. Bali lives in Patal Loka. Pulastya says after reaching the nether world, Bali got constructed a beautiful city made of diamonds and other precious stones. Vishwakarma had constructed an enormous-sized altar in the central part of the city. The windows of Bali's palace were well decorated with pearls. Bali lived there in luxury and by enjoying all the pleasures of life. One day, while the demons were engaged in their sensual pleasures, suddenly the fearsome Sudarshan Chakra entered Bali's palace and after making the demons bereft of their radiance went back to Lord Vishnu. Bali was very worried and thought that only his grandfather Prahlad could help him out from this situation. On being remembered by Bali, Prahlad appeared before him. Bali requested him to describe the means which would be benedictory to him. Prahlad was pleasantly surprised by his change of heart and said, "At last, you have realized your mistake. Listen, Bali. A man who takes refuge in Lord Vishnu and surrenders himself to his will becomes liberated from all the miseries and sorrows of life. A man who has accepted Lord Vishnu as his master need not fear from anything, not even death. All the things which are visible in this universe are the various manifestations of Lord Vishnu himself. A devotee of Lord Vishnu does not have to go to hell, and he becomes liberated from the cycles of birth and death. This way, Prahlad described about the greatness of Lord Vishnu and his worship in great detail. Bali's queries to Prahlad. Bali inquired about the virtues which a man attains by the worship of Lord Vishnu. He also asked Prahlad about the worship and its rituals by which Lord Vishnu is pleased. Prahlad says, sages believe that the donations which are made with total devotion and in the name of Lord Vishnu exist forever. Lord Vishnu is extremely pleased if Malti, Shatwari, Champa, Juhi and Nagar flowers are offered to him. He is also pleased when the offerings of Bilvapatra, Shamipatra, Tamal and Amlipatra are made to him. He is pleased when sesame seeds are donated during the Hindu month of Magh. A person who gets a Vishnu temple constructed liberates his ancestors from their sins. Bali, you must get the Vishnu temple constructed and worship with complete devotion. You must try to please Lord Vishnu by making donations of cow, jewels, gold and land. If you engage yourself in such virtuous activities, then you will certainly attain benediction. After saying this, Prahlad disappeared. After Prahlad's departure, Bali followed his instructions faithfully and engaged himself in the worship of Lord Vishnu. He instructed Vishwakarma to construct a magnificent temple of Lord Vishnu and started worshipping Lord Vishnu accompanied by his wife. He used to clean the temple premises and offer the articles which were dear to Lord Vishnu. This way, Bali and his wife Vindyavali engaged themselves in the worship of Lord Vishnu with complete devotion. Benefits of studying Vamana Purana. Study of Vamana Purana helps a man to enhance his knowledge and makes him free from all kinds of worldly attachments. It also increases his love and devotion towards the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. There are 10 characteristics evident in all the Puranas. 1. Sarg. 2. Visarg. 3. Sthan. 4. Poshan. 5. Yuti. 6. Vritti. 7. Raksha. 8. Manvantara. 9. Vansh. 10. Upashraya. Sarg deals with the descriptions of the origin of this universe. Visarg enlightens us as to how a living thing transforms itself from one species to another. Sthan, Poshan, Yuti and Vritti deal with the descriptions of various means which are employed by a man for his survival. Raksha describes about the various incarnations of Lord Vishnu which he takes for the protection of the humankind. Manvantara deals with the complete description of the history of the whole Manvantara period. Vansh describe about the lineage of all the kings including Lord Brahma. Upashraya enlightens us on the real meaning of Brahma. Pulastya says, a man who listens to the divine tales of Vamana Purana attains to Vishnu Loka after becoming free from all his sins. He attains the same virtues which a performer of Ashwamedha Yagya does. Even listening to one part of Vamana Purana bestows great virtues and equivalent to making pilgrimage of numerous sacred places. Narda, Vamana Purana is the 14th among all the 18 Puranas which describes about the majesty of Lord Vishnu. 5 names of Lord Vishnu have been mentioned in Vamana Purana: Karan, Vaman, Narayan, Amitvikrama, Shagang Chakra and Purushottam. A devotee who chants any of these sacred names of Lord Vishnu and makes salutation either by speech, thought or deed attains to Vishnu Loka. Vaman incarnation. Indra does penance to atone for his sins. Pulastya says, after being defeated by the demons, Indra went to Brahma Loka and narrated his woeful tale to him. Sage Kashyapa, his father, was also present there. Lord Brahma told Indra that he was reaping the fruits of his evil deeds. Sage Kashyapa told him that his miseries were due to the sin acquired by the destruction of Diti's fetus. Indra asked both of them how his sins could be atoned. Lord Brahma advised him to take Sri Hari's help. Indra then went to the north of Kalimjar mountain and started living in a hermitage situated on the bank of river Mahandi. He did penance for 1 year. Pleased by his devotion, Lord Vishnu appeared and blessed him, saying, "Your austere penance has liberated you from the sin of destroying Diti's fetus, and very soon, you will regain your kingdom." After receiving the blessing, Indra went to Aditi's hermitage and narrated the tale of his defeat at the hands of demons. Aditi knew that Indra would not have been defeated had Lord Vishnu been on his side during the battle. So, she went to Lord Vishnu and worshipped him with devotion. Lord Vishnu assured her that very soon, he would incarnate as her son and destroy the demons. Having said this, a part of Lord Vishnu's effulgence entered into Aditi's womb. Bali abuses Lord Vishnu. After Lord Vishnu had established himself inside Aditi's womb, the demons became devoid of their radiance. Bali was surprised by this sudden development and asked Prahlad about it. Prahlad went into deep meditation and saw Lord Vishnu manifesting in Aditi's womb. After coming out from his meditative trance, he told Bali that the demons had lost their radiance due to Sri Hari, who is about to take incarnation at the request of the deities. The arrogant Bali made fun of Sri Hari by saying, "Who is this Sri Hari? We have many mighty warriors in our ranks who are more powerful than Vasudev." Prahlad was a devotee of Sri Hari and he did not like the arrogant utterances of Bali. He cursed him by saying that very soon he would meet his downfall and lose his kingdom. After being cursed, Bali realized his mistake and begged for forgiveness. Prahlad too had calmed down by that time and said, "Even though Lord Vishnu is omnipresent, I cursed you being under the influence of my ignorance. My words will certainly become true, but don't lose heart. Go and take refuge in Sri Hari, the Supreme Protector. He will liberate you from all your sorrows." After saying this, Prahlad went on his pilgrimage. The deities' resting days. Lord Vishnu takes rest on Sheshnag during the whole period of Uttarayan, which begins just after the last day of the bright lunar phase in the Hindu month of Ashad is over. After he goes to sleep, all the deities, Gandharv, Devmata etc. follow suit. Narada requested sage Pulastya to shed light on the days when the deities take rest. Sage Pulastya replied, "A devotee should consider the 11th day of the Hindu month of Ashad Shukla Paksh, when the sun enters the zodiac of Gemini, as the day when Lord Vishnu goes to rest. A devotee should make a replica of Sheshnag and after worshipping the idol of Lord Vishnu, lay him down to rest on the 12th day. Kamdev is said to take rest on the 13th day on his bed made of kadam flowers. The Yakshagnas take rest on the 14th day of the Hindu month of Ashad Shukla Paksh. Their beds are made of yellow lotus. Lord Shiva is believed to take rest on Purnima. His bed is made of tiger skin." If you enjoyed this audiobook, please like and subscribe to be notified of when new audiobooks are uploaded. Thank you for listening and learning. Shanti.